So today we're going to make a classic Belgian ale. As you can see, I'm filming myself today, so bear with the bad camera angles and whatnot. So, but yes, everything that came in this pack is right here. We've got the can with their own brewing yeast, but this kit came with a SAP T58, which is what I was telling you about in the English bitters. So we're not going to use that today. We're going to use this one. Hot plugs, the German Herzenberger, however you say it, and my favourite thing in the world, Brewing Hamper kit, number 20. So we'll see that. But as you can see, what came in this kit here, there's no grains. So I thought I'd have a go with my own grains. I've got 100 grams here. See how we go. Alrighty, so our first step today is I've blended up my grains, so I've split them all, milled them basically, but I've only had to do that with a little stick mix sort of thing. So they're already in my bag. I'm warming up my strike water to 60 degrees, I think I said. Then when that reaches 60, pop the grains in, turn the heat off. I'm going to let that sit for about half an hour. Then I'll bring that back up to the boil. I'll add my hops for 5 minutes. Let that boil on for 5 minutes. Turn the heat off. I'll let it steep for 10 minutes. Okay, we are at, if we can see it, at 60 degrees. Turn the heat off. Pop your grains in. Give them a bit of a juggle to make them sink. Turn it on so we can see. Here we go. Beautiful. A couple of little floaties, that's alright, I'll strain them out. All good. Now I'm doing this at a higher temperature because I think the last one was a little bit low, but I still got everything out of the grains. There's certain temperatures you can do it at. Some people do it higher, some people do it low. You know, I'm just going for a mid-range, we'll see how we go. Alrighty, spoon in hand. Just remember not to stir it up too much, we don't want to pop too much out. Keep it in the bag as best as possible. Now because this is a light malt, it's not really going to bleed into the water much. There's a little bit of colour starting to bleed in. We'll see. See if my grain works. If not, oh well, can't hurt it. Alrighty, we'll leave that for half-a. Alrighty, so we've been going for about half an hour now. A bit of colour in there. Yeah, beautiful. Smells alright. Alrighty. So we'll take these out, we'll strain these as normal. Other side. Right. There's my strainer. In the washing machine. Alright. Excuse me a sec. So I think I one hand, as I said, filming it myself this time. Pull this scrub out of the way. Spoon, I'll have to sterilise that again. Alright. Here we go. Make sure I've got all the goodness out of it. That's alright actually. I think I've done a good malt. Bit of colour in the water. As I said, it's just a light malt, so we're not looking for too much colour in there. Never squeeze the bag. I'm sure you hear it enough. Alright. Wait for the kettle to boil, or at least get hot, so I can run those grains. So you want to tip water over your grains in the bag, get the rest of the flavours out of it. You don't want to leave any of it behind. It's all good. Get the rest of that goodness out of those grains. You want every bit of it, all the sugars and the proteins and stuff. Not too sure about all of the science, but you know, I am just starting out. Now that that's done, I will yes, my better half is at work at the moment, so she's not filming for me. Alright, that'll do it. Put this over there. Yeah, so we'll bring this back to the boil. Go on the burner. And when you're boiling, you only want a gentle sort of boil, nothing too strenuous, because you'll put it everywhere. I mean, like, I've got plenty of clearance in this pot, so it's not really going to matter, but you don't want to go over the top with it. While that's doing that, I'm going to warm up my can so it's all ready. Then I might actually do what I did in the other video, dissolve this, because it's more malt in this one, so it will clump up. Put it into cold water, bring that cold water to the boil, and it should dissolve any of the lumps, and it stops the steam. If you've noticed, if you're pouring your malt extract straight into the fermenter with hot water in it, all the steam makes it all coagulate onto the top of the bag, and you're missing out on some of the good stuff. So, alrighty, so we've got our water to a nice comfortable boil. It's beautiful. Going to get me snips, clean and sanitised. It's annoying because that means they're wet. Just going to put the phone down for a second while I cut this bad boy open. It's me hots. Haven't used plugs yet. Just been palletised so far. Keeping it simple. Oh yeah, bloody hell, they're big. Looks a little bit sinister. Oh wow, get a whiff of that. Whoa. That's probably the nicest hop yet. I love the stars. The stars is a bloody nice hop. Alright, in we go. Make sure we've got all of it out. More or less. Here we go. Right, here it goes. Now that's in there boiling away. Set the timer for 5-ish minutes. Then we'll come back and turn it off the boil. Wow, that smells so good. Okay, we're at about 5 minutes on the boil with the hops. Flick the heat off. Gonna let that sit for 10 minutes. Alrighty, well we've let that sit for 10. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to strain this straight out into the fermenter so the hops aren't in there anymore, because as I said I'm not going to cool it down. I don't see any point. Now that that's done, I'm going to have to put the phone down because I've got to empty the sterilizer out of my fermenter. So I'll set all that up and then I'll turn it back on and you can see me straining it in. Pretty exciting stuff. Alright, we're back. Got all that set up. It's a bit of a mix. Oh, well, I can't really show you me pouring it in and straining it out because well, I don't know how to hold the camera. So let me do this. I'm going to pour that into there. And then I'll put the camera back on and I'll set up my malt extract and my brew can and everything like that. So, cool. Be back in a sec. Alrighty, so I've got 2 litres of cold water in my pot. Gonna snip me DME bag open. Alrighty. Right. There we go. Now if you notice there's no coagulated stuff on there from the steam, because once malt gets in contact with water, as you've probably seen, most definitely have, it all really goes really sticky and really just clumps up, and it's horrible. So you chuck it into cold water like that, bring it to the boil, dissolves all the lumps, and stops it from sticking in the bag, so you're not wasting any, and it's just a cleaner process really. See there, that's what I'm talking about. Even at cold, it's all lumpied up and stuff, so I'm going to keep stirring this while she comes to the boil, and fingers crossed it should work. they should all just fall out and dissolve in. So, and when we come back, or when I start recording again, this will be ready, and I'll chuck that straight into my fermenter there. Put my brew can in while she's nice and hot. That should dissolve it all. Give it a good mix. If you are skeptical of that working at all with the cold to hot water, have a look. Not a lump in sight. I was stirring it about 5 minutes ago, and I come back and she's a lot hotter. 5 minutes ago there was a big solid lump. I tried squishing it against the side with the back of the spoon, wouldn't give, and now it's nowhere. This really does work. So we'll get that to the boil. I do want it to the boil, so then when I do add it to my fermenter, it's going to bring the cooling temperature of the mash up, so it will dissolve my canned sugars and stuff. So cool. Alright, well when that comes to the boil, I'll pour it in, and then you can see me open the can like a douchebag, and we'll go from there. Alright, so that's on the boil. Going to chuck that in there. Then I'm going to open my can real quick, chuck that in there. Can't do that one-handed, so when I come back, you'll just see me stirring it up with the DME, the mash, and the can. So that's all going to go in. We're going to mix it up, make sure all the sugars and everything are dissolved. They should be by then. And then going to get the cold water out of the fridge, the ice if I need it, top her up to 23 litres. Hopefully the temperature will be about 22, that's what I want it. And then I'm going to pitch my yeast. So here we go. Alrighty, so I've put it all in there, given a bit of a stir. I've added some cold water. We're at about 18 litres now. So I'm going to keep stirring this, get it all dissolved in. It's at about 35 degrees-ish. It's a little bit darker than I thought it'd be, but usually fermentation dulls it down a tiny bit. But that's alright. Smells bloody good, tell you what. I think that'll do for the video. If I'm doing something wrong, do let me know. The malt barley that I malted myself, try and say that 10 times fast, worked out alright. It smelled good. It extracted. It steeped really good. You know, really can't go wrong. Like with everything that I put in it with a brew can, that's full of flavour. It's very concentrated stuff. It's very thick. The brew enhancer, they always do me well, and the hops. Even if the grain didn't work out 100%, I don't have a problem with it. And I know you got to use more of your own homemade malt because it doesn't quite produce the amount of sugars as the commercial. That's the word I was looking for. The commercial malts, and I'm just using a seed barley, and that's it. As easy as that. Cheers.